Hello everyone, I'm Jun Saito, Consul General of Japan in Montreal, and it is with great pleasure that I greet you here today. The Festival du Thé is a fantastic opportunity to learn more about tea in its all forms. In Japan, tea, or ocha, boasts a very long history dating back to the 9th century and is now an inherent part of our culture and daily lives. Numerous varieties and types of Japanese tea have come to be through the centuries, and some will probably sound familiar to you, such as matcha or sencha. Tea's popularity continues to rise steadily and its uses multiply. You must have heard about green tea's many health benefits. It is even used in balanced diets due to some of its beneficial ingredients. Recently, green tea has gone beyond a simple cup of tea. It now contributes immensely to diversifying gastronomy around the world, whether through main dishes, desserts, or innovative beverages. Today, we propose two informative video clips, one on Japan's traditional tea ceremony and one on the city of Uji, the birthplace of matcha tea. Please enjoy the festival, the videos, as well as many discoveries in the wide and wonderful world of green tea. お茶をどうぞ。
Sado, the way of tea. A tradition that perfectly expresses the Japanese culture of hospitality. The history of Sado begins in the 15th century. Great tea masters like Sen no Rikyu refined and developed the art's focus on hospitality and the creative interactions between those serving and drinking tea. Over the centuries, different schools and traditions of tea arose. Today, over 1.3 million regularly practice this art. In Sado, every action is performed in a specific way, although details differ between schools. Mastering this art takes much time and constant practice. Students learn the precise way to rise from the floor to a standing position and to never tread directly on any threshold. Before use, the bowl is carefully wiped with a special cloth. Even the way of folding this cloth follows a set procedure. The tea used is matcha, powdered green tea leaves. When mixing the tea and hot water, the right hand holds the bamboo whisk, while the left grips the tea bowl. This action must be performed with the whole arm, not just the wrist. To serve the tea, the host first rotates the bowl so its front side faces the guest. The guest then rotates the bowl again to avoid drinking from the front side. Precise rules govern everything from how to hold the implements to where to place each item. The host decorates the tea room with a flower arrangement representing the season. Only dedicated, repeated practice brings understanding of the way of tea. Through practice, one realizes the 4 key principles of tea. Harmony in the tea room. Respect for each other and all existence. The way of tea isn't something you can do by yourself. It's all about interacting with other people. The important thing is to create a space where we can be open and considerate with each other. The way of tea requires purity in all things. The purpose of all our preparations and procedures is to eliminate anything that might disturb the mind. Everything we do has this goal, to calm the spirit and create a peaceful atmosphere. Through harmony, respect, and purity, guests arrive at the 4th key principle, the state of tranquility. It appeals to all the senses. The way of tea is so wonderful in the way it skillfully forges close bonds between everyone taking part. Calming the mind, refining the spirit of hospitality. For over 400 years, this has been the appeal of the way of tea. Green tea. Life in Japan wouldn't be the same without it. It's drunk without milk or sugar to best appreciate the flavor of the leaves. The central role of tea in Japanese life is highlighted by the tea ceremony, or cha-no-yu. Here, everything revolves around the tea, served by the host strictly according to tradition. The cha-no-yu ceremony uses a special kind of tea called matcha. The matcha leaves are finely ground with a heavy millstone to produce a brilliantly green powder with the deepest possible flavor. The city of Uji lies to the southeast of Kyoto. About 800 years ago, tea growers were attracted to Uji because of the mild climate produced by these gentle hills. It was here in the 16th century that Japan's distinctive powdered green tea matcha was born. Tea growers covered their plants in cold weather to protect against frost. Finding this also improved the flavor, they experimented. By blocking the sunlight to control the rate of photosynthesis in the new buds, they reduced the bitterness of the tea, making it both milder and more full-bodied. Senno Rikyu, most famous of tea masters, established the tea ceremony tradition in the 16th century. At this time, matcha from Uji was considered the highest luxury. By the 17th century, Uji was sending annual tributes of tea to the shoguns in Edo, present-day Tokyo. The heavy jars of tea were carried to the capital in a formal procession. Chashi, or tea blenders, continue to improve the quality of matcha. At this establishment, they've been blending tea for 450 years. Tea is a plant, so left to nature, the quality and flavor will vary year by year, even for leaves from the same field. We have to carefully tune our process all the time in order to maintain a uniform taste for our teas. This is done by special blending methods handed down through generations of chashi. Through their secret blending methods, today's chashi maintain Uji's position as the source of premier matcha. Every October in Uji, water is drawn from the Uji River for a special tea ceremony held to honor Senno Rikyu and the great tea masters of old. Today we can enjoy the taste of matcha not only in drinks but in many kinds of foods too. This Ryotei restaurant uses matcha in many of its dishes. And tourists to Uji delight in the range of matcha-flavored sweets and desserts on offer. Uji, birthplace of matcha, still plays a key role in Japan's culture of tea.